Super excited to be your host today. We have a great topic and a great presenter. Our very own Angus Robinson will be discussing traditional marketing in the digital age, showing you how you can effectively blend traditional and digital marketing tactics together for a successful marketing plan that is proven to generate transactions. Before we dive in, however, I wanted to talk briefly about Simplify. We have people joining us from all over, and some might not be familiar with exactly what we do. Simplify is a self-serve direct mail service aimed at helping small businesses reach their customers. We help them quickly create and distribute beautiful flyers and postcards at significant savings over current methods. We know that running a small business can be challenging, and you don't always have the time or the budget to work with a designer, a printer, and a distributor to get your message out. So we made it simple. We brought all of those things together in one place. We'll touch on more of what we do in a little bit, but for now, Angus is going to be talking about traditional marketing in the digital age. As the Director of Marketing at Metroland Digital Commerce, Angus Robinson leads the marketing team for Simplify, WagJag, Save.ca, and Travel Alerts, which collectively reach over 3 million Canadians each month. Without further ado, I'm going to throw it over to Angus.
Great, thank you, Derek. And just a reminder again, I see we have somebody who's just joined us. If you could please put your phone on mute for the duration of the presentation, it would be appreciated, because there could be a little bit of additional ambient noise that can make it hard for everybody else to hear. So thank you very much. Great. So this is a topic, traditional and digital marketing, blending the two. This is a topic that I know quite well through building our brands at Metroland. And I'm excited to share what I've learned over the years with all of you on the line. And so today we'll be talking about blending traditional and digital marketing tactics for a winning marketing strategy, learning why repetition is important for brand exposure, learning how to build trust through advertising, and also ways to measure traditional offline marketing initiatives, because that can quite often be a challenge for marketers. So first off, I'd like to start off with a story about Mr. Plow. Now, Mr. Plow is a business based in Mississauga, and it's recently started up by a gentleman by the name of Homer Simpson. Some of you might be familiar with him. Now, Homer's been rating all the latest marketing blogs and has learned that digital marketing is the hot new trend, that this is where you need to be spending your marketing dollars and your efforts in today's day and age. So he's stacked his entire marketing campaign with digital tactics. He's using Google AdWords, he's got a Facebook page, he's got a website with a WordPress blog, and he tweets, and he runs display ad campaigns on local news sites. And he even has some mobile campaigns, because he's read that mobile is the hot new thing, and you need to be in mobile if you want to build your business. So sounds awesome, right? Like he's capturing all the digital trends right now and on the cutting edge of marketing. Sounds awesome, right? But the problem is that after a few months of promoting his business in the winter months, he's only getting 2 sales a month. How can this be? How can this be? People aren't clicking his ads. When they do click, they're not booking appointments. No one's liking his Facebook page. No one's retweeting his tweets. His blog gets 3 visits a week from his mom. How can that be? Because he's doing everything that he's been told is the right thing to do. So the challenge is that with just stacking your campaign with digital initiatives, nobody really cares enough to click his Google ads. Nobody will like his Facebook page if they don't trust him, if they're not aware of the brand in the first place. So really what I'd like to share with you is a way to avoid this pitfall and a way to blend traditional and digital in order to create a winning campaign that is proven to generate transactions. And this is, again, some tactics that we use here at Metroland, and tactics that I have used myself in building our brands, WagJag, Save.ca, Travel Alerts, into major Canadian businesses that have over 3 million email subscribers. So in today's world, digital marketing is a hot topic, as Homer Simpson was finding out. And it's sexy because it's accountable. And I can tell exactly what outcomes I'm getting from each channel. But marketers who neglect traditional channels in favor of 100% digital are missing out on a wide range of high-performing channels. And in many cases, the winning approach is one that blends both traditional and digital. Now, there are many reasons to use digital channels. As I said, they're very measurable. There's a lot of targeting capabilities that you can implement. There's automation, and it's a very scalable medium to use. And digital channels can be very effective, but there are a lot of limitations. So I'll share with you just an example of one of those limitations. Now, before we launched Simplify, we met with several small business owners like yourselves to see what you're doing to market your business and where you're seeing the best traction. And we found that many businesses had search engine marketing at the core of their strategy. Now, big challenge with that is that only 10 to 15% of all clicks on search engine results pages go to the paid ads, and the rest go to the organic ads. And it's really only the top 3 or 4 listings that get clicked. Now, intense competition for those organic listings and very high cost for the paid ads, and you're only reaching people that are actually searching for either your brand or the services that you offer. And you're missing out on a huge portion of the market that might not be aware of your product or service, or might not even be aware that they have a problem that you can solve and that you would be a good solution to that problem. On the flip side, traditional marketing does a very good job at educating through content, and people will spend far more time reading a print ad than a display ad. So you can have a far more immersive experience with many forms of traditional marketing. And it's not the case with all digital marketing that it's a short interaction, but most of the time that is the case. So with traditional, you have the ability to build trust because you can go into greater detail and tell your story. It's also a great medium for reaching a high number of people. Now the challenge is it can cost a lot. At least that's generally the perception in the industry. So a lot of small businesses shy away from most traditional marketing tactics because of the perceived cost. But that's not always the case. Direct mail and local print advertising are less expensive options that can drive incredible results. And we'll show some examples and information on that in the coming slides. So really the winning formula is the one where marketers blend traditional and digital marketing tactics side by side. And in this webinar, we'll show you how to build a comprehensive marketing plan for your business, incorporating both traditional and digital marketing tactics. And what we're discussing here can be applied outside of small business as well. And like I said, these are some of the tactics and methodologies that we used here at Metroland to build WagJag, Save.ca, Travel Alerts, and actually now Simplify to major Canadian businesses that they are now. So we're going to start out by talking about a concept called the purchase funnel. Some of you may be familiar with it, but many of you probably not. So to show how digital and traditional marketing can complement each other, this is where we'll start. And the purchase funnel illustrates the theoretical journey a customer would take from the moment a brand attracted their attention to the point of action or purchase. And the purchase funnel is a concept used in marketing to guide promotional campaigns targeting different stages of the customer journey. And as a marketer, you want to build campaigns for each stage in the purchase funnel. So it starts with awareness at the very top. And at this stage, people can be made aware of your brand without the desire to purchase. And awareness can be based on a message that's communicated from the brand, or it could be through word of mouth or independent discovery from a prospect. After awareness, we have interest. And at this stage, the prospect has decided they want or need a product similar to yours, but not necessarily yours. After interest, we have desire. And at this point, the prospect is deciding between the most likely purchases, seeking out very specific information to help them make their decision. After desire, the prospect moves to action, and they actually become a paying customer of yours, completing a transaction for your product. Now, finally, we have the holy grail of marketing, and that is loyalty. So in this stage, the prospect decides to purchase from you again, and even better, become an advocate of your product or service, referring new customers based on the fantastic experience that they have had with you. If you can stack your marketing campaigns to hit all of these stages in the marketing funnel, you will have a very successful program on your hands. So the purchase funnel is shaped like a funnel because naturally each subsequent stage in the funnel will have fewer people than the preceding stage. So there will be far more people that are aware of your product than people who will buy your product. And as a marketer, your job is to A, feed the funnel with as many people at the top as possible, cast a very wide net, and B, to retain as many people as possible as the prospects move down the funnel from awareness to interest, from interest to desire, to action, and finally down to loyalty. And if it's done correctly, you'll be laughing all the way to the bank and Ferraris for everyone. So let's look at the funnel in greater detail. So we'll start with the top of the funnel, and we'll look at it. And just, if you could please keep your phone on mute throughout the presentation, that would be appreciated, because there's a lot of additional noise that can be a little disruptive to other people. So we'll start at awareness, and the goals of an awareness campaign, the number of impressions, the advertising impressions that are served for each person, and also reach. How many people am I reaching? You want to have a high number of impressions and a high amount of reach. So some traditional channels that you can use to generate awareness are direct mail, billboards and posters, TV, radio, newspapers and magazines. On the digital side, you can use display and banner ads and social media advertising. And as you see here, there are more opportunities for traditional channels than digital at the awareness stage. And this is a stage where traditional really has some serious power here. It's really good at generating awareness. Digital, as you'll see in the coming slides, has a greater place at the bottom of the funnel. So stacking the top of the funnel with traditional initiatives and the bottom of the funnel with digital initiatives can be a great way to have a very well-rounded campaign. Next, we move to interest. And again, at this point, the prospect has decided they want or need a product similar to yours. So the kind of goals that you'd be looking for out of a campaign at the interest stage of the funnel would be inquiries and engagement. Basically, you want to open a dialogue with your prospective customers to give you an opportunity to share what it is that's different about you. So some ways that you can use traditional channels at the interest stage would be direct mail and mail newsletters. On the digital side, we have you could run social media posts, run a Facebook page and post very engaging Facebook posts. You can set up a blog and run some content marketing. Email newsletters are great as well. And then there are some channels that can span either traditional or digital, depending on the method you choose, and that would be product or service demos or PR, public relations. At the desire stage, the prospect is now deciding between the most likely purchases. And at this stage, seeking out very relevant information. So taking test drives, going to product demos, reviews, etc. And really what you're looking for as a goal out of campaigns at this level is leads, qualified leads, people that are interested in buying from you but haven't yet closed the deal. So what information can you provide to them to really move them to the next stage of action? So on the traditional side, some ways that this is done typically is through retail flyers and through events. And on the digital side, we have webinars similar to the one that you're attending right now, and search engine marketing, either organic or paid search engine marketing. And again, there are some channels that would span both traditional and digital, and that would be product comparisons and buying guides, showing testimonials from very happy customers, and then some case studies going into detail about how your customers have had great success working with you. Then we move to action, and at this stage, the customer makes their final decision to buy your product or service, and this is ultimately what we're shooting for here. This is the only stage where you actually generate money. All the other stages preceding lead to this stage. So on the campaign goals that you'd be looking for would be the number of transactions, but also the size of the transactions. You want to get a high dollar value out of every transaction as much as possible. Some ways that you can facilitate that on the traditional side would be issuing a coupon. Could be through a number of different channels that could be issued. On the digital side, you could retarget users to your site. It gets a little technologically challenging to do that, but basically the concept is if somebody visits your site, you can target them with an ad on other sites as well. Or you could run a daily deal on a group buying site, something like WagJag, which has been a great tool for generating trial and new customers. And then some tactics that could span either traditional or digital would be a free estimate, a free trial, or a sale or promotion for first-time customers. And those could be delivered through traditional or digital depending on what type of promotion you want to run. Finally, again, we have the holy grail of marketing, and it's just loyalty. And if you can generate a loyal customer for life, it really decreases the need to try and find new customers all the time. So if the customer has a good experience, the customer will likely buy again, in theory. Even better, that customer can become an advocate of yours and can become a marketing channel in itself, referring new customers. So what goals you'd be looking for out of a loyalty campaign would be purchase frequency and referrals. So existing customers referring new customers to you. So some ways that you can achieve this on the traditional side would be a loyalty card or a punch card, similar to maybe like a coffee shop that gives you the 10th cup of coffee free. That encourages repeat purchases. Or an affiliate program on the digital side, a little bit technologically challenging, but can have great results if you implement it well. And then it sounds self-explanatory, but it's a really important point to make that customer service can be a very important marketing channel for you. If customers have a need to contact customer service, generally there could be a problem or something, and it's a bit of a moment of truth situation where it's a make it or break it. If you deliver really strong customer service, that can mean that you get a customer for life and they refer new customers to you. If they have a poor experience, they could choose to never buy from you again and potentially even be a detractor and spread negative news about you. So really important to have really strong customer service, and that can be delivered either through traditional or digital channels, either way. A rewards program would also be a great way to generate loyalty. So that could be creating a way of issuing perks or additional rewards for customers who have stayed loyal to you for a long time. So here's a summary of everything that we've just been talking about, some of the examples, and this is by far not a comprehensive list, but it's some of the big, most effective ones, and some of the ones that we use in our channels at Metroland. So just a quick summary of all those different channels. And as a small business, completely unrealistic to expect you to check all of these boxes, but really what you want to do is pick and choose which of these would be right for your business, depending on the type of product you're selling, your budget, the types of customers you're trying to reach, etc. So I'm going to go through an example of a funnel here, and we're going to go back to our good friend Mr. Plow, and show how a customer could move through the purchase funnel with the end goal of becoming a customer of Mr. Plow. So before the potential customer has even started looking for a snowplow service, they'll probably be aware of some snowplow services used by their neighbors. But at this stage, the customer, the potential customer, let's call her Rebecca, doesn't know about Mr. Plow. It's a brand new company that has just entered the market in Mississauga, and right now Rebecca is not aware that Mr. Plow exists. So Rebecca moves to awareness while watching TV. She's watching a local TV channel, and an ad for Mr. Plow is shown, introducing Rebecca to the Mr. Plow brand. And then she moves into interest because with the winter months approaching, Rebecca recognizes a need for snowplow services and starts conducting some research via consulting with her neighbors, friends, family, Facebook, online reviews, etc. So she knows she needs snowplow service. She doesn't know that she wants to buy it yet from Mr. Plow. So Then Rebecca moves into desire, because Rebecca receives a flyer in the mail sharing Mr. Plow's unique value proposition. That's what differentiates Mr. Plow from all its competitors. And that flyer is accompanied with a service comparison chart and pricing details, basically everything that she would need to make her final decision. And now she moves to action, and the next time it snows, Rebecca pulls out her flyer and calls Mr. Plow to complete the transaction using the first-time customer promo code published on that flyer. Finally, as she's had a great experience working with Mr. Plow, she goes into loyalty as she buys from Mr. Plow again, and then also refers a couple of her neighbors. And now, just going back to the funnel again, it's not realistic at all to expect a marketer to use all of these channels here. That would be very time-consuming and quite expensive. But what you want to do is pick and choose the channels here that are most appropriate for your product. So here's an example of a way that you could stack your marketing campaign in order to check all these boxes. So as you can see here, we've got at least one campaign initiative at every stage in the funnel. So at awareness, we have two traditional mechanisms. We have direct mail and billboards and posters. At interest, we have social media posts. At desire, we have search engine marketing. Action, we have a sale or promotion for first-time customers. And loyalty, we have a loyalty card, a punch card that the business is issuing. This could be a great way to stack your marketing campaign. And as you can see, we have both traditional and digital channels in here, so we're getting essentially the best of both worlds. Another way we could do it is by now looking at a way to build awareness through both traditional and digital. So you could run a newspaper or magazine ad and also supplement that with display banner ads on local websites. You could run a mail newsletter distributed through the post. You could run a webinar similar to this one here that you're attending to create more desire for the product you're selling. You could show testimonials from happy customers. You could run a daily deal on a site like WagJag. And then finally, to create loyalty, you could have a rewards program to issue perks for your existing customers and loyal customers. Now, trust is a very important tool in your marketing mix. And as you're starting out a new brand, it's really important to focus on trust building. And as you go throughout the brand life cycle, it becomes less important. As awareness grows in your target market, it becomes less important to focus on awareness and trust building. But very early on in the brand life cycle, the need to build trust is very high, and you can shift your focus away from trust later on once you've established that trust in the beginning. So there are some factors that affect trust. Trust is essentially a product of both character and credibility. So on the character side, a prospective customer might be asking, does this business have my interests at heart? Is this business going to do the right thing if there's a problem? On the credibility side, the prospect is going to be asking themselves, is this business qualified to solve my problem? What indicators are they showing me that they have experience and that they'll do a really good job for me? So both very important questions to answer, and they can't be answered together. They have to be answered separately. So we'll show you some ways of how you can address both of those things to really build trust with your campaign. So how to convey character with your brand would be to show connection to your community, involvement in community events, testimonials that speak to your superb customer service, affiliation with any charities to show that you're a good guy, that you're not just in it for the money, but you are actually you want to make a positive change in the world. Respond in real time in social media. Can't stress how much that's important. If you have questions that are unanswered on social media, it makes it look like you are not responsive and you don't care about your customers, whether or not that's the case. Accessible contact information. If there is a problem, do I have the ability to contact somebody, to actually speak to somebody on the phone? The phone number, very, very important. photos of you and your business. You want to humanize your brand and show that there's actually people behind the business, the brand name, the logo, because that can really help to put a face. How to convey credibility would be through awards, certifications, ratings on sites like Yelp, TripAdvisor, etc. Showing your Better Business Bureau rating, if it's assuming that it's a good rating. Showing the number of years you've been in business. And there's others as well too, but these are some ways that you can really show trust through character and credibility. Now, for most forms of traditional marketing, the prospect is in lean back mode, and they're not at a computer, they're not on their phone with a limited amount of time. They're ready to consume a message, and they have more time to spend consuming that message. So it can become a great medium to use to tell a story and to go into detail as to why you can be trusted. It can be hard to generate that same level of trust through digital initiatives because people spend a very small amount of time interacting with a display ad, let's say, for example. Now, that's not the case for all digital channels, but for the most part, that would be that would hold true for digital channels. So awareness channels tend to be very high cost. At least that's the perception in the market. So a lot of small businesses shy away from traditional marketing channels because of that perceived cost. So how can a small business create this level of awareness and trust but still do it on a tight budget? Well, we have identified 3 great channels in both traditional and digital that can generate awareness, and it's in a very effective way, in a cost-effective way. And this is not just something that is appropriate for small businesses. These are channels that we use ourselves at Metroland to build our businesses, and we have my marketing team here works on a lot of these types of campaigns. So first we have flyers and direct mail. Very versatile medium, can be targeted very well, high reach, low cost. Local newspapers, similar type of scenario. And display ads can be a great way to generate a high volume of impressions. Shorter interaction time, but the cost is quite low. So all of this together will mean you get a targeted reach campaign. By that I mean you're reaching a high number of people within your target market. It's relatively low cost, and it's location based. Now, when you look at newspapers, you can think of national newspapers like Metro News and the Toronto Star. Those would be hard. You can't location target ads in those newspapers. But there are a lot of newspapers in local communities that can be great for location-based targeting. For example, in Toronto, Metroland has 8 different publications depending on the region, the neighborhood, essentially, in Toronto. So you can get very granular to target ads either through the Bloor West Villager, let's say, or the Etobicoke Guardian, or the North York Mirror. Great ways to target each of those neighborhoods specifically. With flyers and direct mail, you can get even more granular with your targeting capabilities. So although traditional marketing is typically used at the top of the funnel, there is a great place for it at the bottom of the funnel as well too. Now typically, again, digital tactics are very effective at the bottom of the funnel, and most marketers will reserve the bottom of the funnel purely for digital. But I would suggest not just going digital. Don't forget about traditional, especially direct mail, because it is such a versatile channel. So some examples of how you could use flyers and direct mail at the bottom of the funnel for both desire and action would be a product or service comparison, running a coupon, a limited time offer, a free estimate, or even a free trial. So you might be saying to yourself, geez, these guys at Metroland, they really love their flyers. There's a lot of flyers and direct mail that this guy Angus is talking about. And you know what? You'd be right. We do love flyers, and there's a very good reason for it. So Metroland distributes billions of flyers a year. We reach 85% of Ontario households, and our flyer distribution is growing each year. Each year we have new businesses coming to us to say, you know what, we want to start distributing flyers with you, and we have businesses that are sending more flyers than they did the previous year. It grows each year, if you can believe it. And there's a very good reason for that. 86% of Ontarians read at least one flyer per week, 26% of consumers will keep direct mail for future reference. 71% of consumers are more likely to visit a retailer who sends a flyer. And this is all based on a very robust study that was conducted by BrandSpark International in July last year that really shows the power of flyers and why Canadians love flyers. So what we've said is that flyers can be a very cost-effective medium to distribute your marketing message. That isn't always the case, but just like to pause for a sec because we wanted to share some information with you about Simplify because it's the most cost-effective way to distribute flyers in this way. We make it very easy for you to do so. So I'm going to turn it over right now to Kazra Zokai, our Director of Development. It's actually him and his team that built Simplify. He's going to take you through just a quick demo of Simplify, and then we'll jump back into everything else.
Thanks, Angus. So I'm really only going to spend a few minutes talking about Simplify and how you can, as part of your marketing mix, you can use direct mail to effectively reach your customers throughout the funnel. When we built Simplify, we were looking at these different channels and their effectiveness and the amount of effort that goes into creating flyers. Ends up being quite time-consuming, quite costly to just make flyers. So, we looked at our distribution reach, we looked at ways that we could leverage our existing infrastructures and create a service that would be, way simpler to use, way faster to use, and also because we can offer this at to a broader audience, we could significantly reduce the cost for running traditional direct mail campaigns. So Simplify, you can visit the website, simplify.com. Right off the bat, you get all the information you need. There's a short video that will walk you through what the service is. In the interest of time, I'm just going to show you one quick sample of how you could create a campaign in less than 5 minutes overall. So right off the bat, you can click on Get Started. You can select different sizes of direct mail that we do. You can have 4x6 postcards, larger postcards, or a full one-page flyer. Select your quantity, your landscape, number of sides. We default to 2. And there's 3 ways you can actually get a flyer going. You can design one from scratch online. You can upload one that you might have already had from before, or you can use one of our existing templates. So for this demo, I'll just pick one from an existing template. Let's say you're Mr. Plow and you want to find a template that matches your business. You consider yourself professional services. You can narrow down to that. Let's say your coloring is around blue, so you want to narrow it down to blue. And there's a template that has a snowplow on it that might be relevant to my business. I can easily select it. Once you select your flyer, there's a really quick way. If you're happy with the look and feel and the color and everything, all you have to do is put in a couple of text and copy. So you put Mr. Plow on the top. You can essentially change any of these fields, put a different discount on it, put a different slogan on it, put your online website address, your own business address, your phone number. You can customize the back as well. In addition, you can actually go more advanced and actually change the whole thing if you want to, make it even more advanced. So let's say, I'm not really happy with this. I want this to be centered. I can change that. You can change the colors if you want it. Let's say I want a darker blue for my Mr. Plow. And I want to also, maybe change the font and pick a different font that's, darker a little bit more, stands out a little bit more. It's as advanced and as easy as you want it to be. You can change everything. You can move everything around. You can add new elements to it. You can draw lines, ellipses. It's as powerful or as simple as you want it to be. Let's say, on the back, I don't like that either. I want to center that. Let's say we're happy with this design, just in the interest of time. You just add it to your shopping cart. So at this point, you finished designing your flyers, something that would have taken, a whole bunch of back and forth to do with a designer. You use an existing template and quickly modified it to get it going. In addition to that, there is the advanced editor that I just showed. If you've used PowerPoint before, you can easily change that and use the same skill sets to build up your flyer in here as well. There's beyond the kind of text editing that I showed and the color changes that I showed, you can also insert new images. You can see a little QR code on the side here. Let's say you have your address. You put a QR code in here as well, and people scan that with their device. It'll send them directly to your own website. You can put clip art in. You can change your colors. You can add new elements all across the page. So there's lots of things you can do with the editor itself. Next part, you can see our Maps. So this is our distribution network. In Metroland, we cover anywhere from Niagara Falls all the way down to, Ontario, close to Montreal. So we cover Ottawa all the way down to Niagara Falls. You can come down, select the region. Let's say, we want to distribute in Toronto. You select Toronto, and Toronto gets highlighted. You can put in an address if you want to focus it in a specific area. Let's say you want to do, 1 Yonge Street right at the beginning of, Yonge Street. And let's say you want to put some demographic in. You want to target, people from 50 to 60. That's the age group you want to target. You want to make sure they have a certain level of income that generally go for your service, so you can kind of select that as well. Let's do a couple. And then let's say once you're happy with that, you can kind of select best matches, and the system will actually select the most appropriate matches for your own business. So you can see, for us, given the distribution area that we selected, really, these 3 areas were the ones that matched my criteria the best. Once you're happy with that, you just quickly select the distribution date. And you can also see in the bottom, the summary of your order. You continue. At this point, you kind of selected where you want to order it. If you want additional copies being sent to your own house as well or your business, you can order some additional print copies that you can hand out. It also gets put it on Save.ca, which is the largest distributor of digital flyers in Canada. At this point, you're pretty much done. All you do is you have an account that you can create an account if you already placed orders before, or you can start one from scratch right here. For the interest of time, I'm just going to sign into an account that I already have. There you go. You have your order. All you put in is the flyer that you designed right here. You can see that right in the corner. You have the areas you distribute it, you select it, your quantity, your distribution dates, the newspapers that's going to go out with, your digital distribution, and all you do at this point is you put in your credit card information, and you just kind of checkbox the terms and conditions, and you place your order. And that's it. Something that would have taken, weeks or months to do, now you can do it in a matter of, minutes, hours if you want to really spend time perfecting your flyer. And that's it. I think that's a quick demo of Simplify. One of the big things that's important with direct mail or any marketing campaign in general is repetition. The more you send the same message to the same audience, the more likelihood of them actually purchasing. I'm just going to, talk more about that, so I'll just pass it on to him to show it. And one thing we've done in Simplify is actually made it super easy to reorder any product that you have. So if you look at your previous orders, I'll just show you one quickly. You can reorder any previous campaign with just clicking reorder and completing your checkout, and you can make any changes that you wanted to too. So with that, I'm just going to pass it back to Angus to kind of talk about the importance of repetition.
Great, thank you, Kasra. So how many people have really bought a product or a service just based on one exposure to a marketing message? I would imagine very few of you have. At least, maybe for something small like a bag of chips or something, sure. You want to try a new flavor, you see an ad once, it spurs you to make a purchase. But for the most part, customers need to be exposed to a marketing message many, many times before it resonates with them, before it actually pushes them to move to the next stage in the funnel. So if we go back to Mr. Plow, for example, Sorry, let's get that. For most products and services, one impression is not enough. So if you look at successful marketing campaigns, there's a lot of different impressions that will be served through a number of different channels to generate that sale, and it can take quite often more than 10 exposures to a message to generate a sale, both through the same mediums and through different mediums as well. So some of the factors that would affect the need for repetition would be price, complexity, the perceived risk, the need to research if you need to consult with family. So high-priced item, need to repeat your message over and over again. And there's a very good reason why you see the same TV commercials for like Tide and peanut butter, etc., over and over and over again, sometimes like over 30 times. It's been proven to work, and there have been many studies that confirm this, and that's why you see these consumer packaged goods companies hammering you over and over and over again with the same message, because that's what it takes. It takes you many exposures for that message to resonate and for you to build trust with that business. So the need for repetition also is affected by the stage in the funnel. At the awareness level, you want to have many repetitions. The need for repetition is very high at the awareness stage, but as you move down the funnel, it becomes lower. And actually, it can be, when you're looking at action, the more promotions that you have to generate action could potentially work out of your favor. You don't want to constantly be in market with a discount potentially. So when you look at traditional marketing, a lot of the reasons why businesses shy away from traditional marketing is that in a lot of cases you can't tell what you get out of it. It's hard to say, if you spend $5,000 on a TV commercial, what does that bring in more than $5,000 in business? I mean, because that's typically the equation that a marketer would undertake to determine if there's success. So I want to share with you a few tactics that we use ourselves here at Metroland to gauge the performance of some of our traditional marketing campaigns. First would be a vanity URL. So if you're publishing a link to your site from any offline medium, could be a radio ad or a flyer or a billboard, what have you. You can create a specific URL. URL is a link that is only published on that medium. And then you can tell if anybody comes through that URL, you know that they came from that ad. So you can tell whether or not that ad was effective and whether or not you want to make any adjustments if you were to do it again. And the way that you would tell if somebody visited that link is through web analytics software. So a free option to use is Google Analytics, and that's actually what we use here at Metroland. It's a very good tool to use. We're actually going to have a follow-up webinar in the coming months on Google Analytics as well too. So when you see that session, mark your calendars. But this can be a great way to connect digital to traditional marketing tactics, so that you can measure everything in the same way that a digital marketer would be. Next, you could use a coupon code. If you have, and this could be either used like over the phone. If somebody was calling in to place an order, they could quote a specific coupon code and get a discount, or it could be applied to a shopping cart if your business has e-commerce capabilities. And then when you see this a coupon code that is only published in one campaign, if you see a transaction come through with that coupon code, you'll know that campaign should get credit for that transaction. So then you can make better decisions of where you focus your efforts in the future to make sure that you're capitalizing on that insight. Next, you can look at test markets. So start in a very small area and see what the performance is in that area. And if you have good results, then gradually scale it up. So if you run a test campaign in North York and you see strong results, extend it to Toronto. If that works out, extend it to GTA, and then even Southern Ontario and beyond if that suits your business. Finally, it sounds obvious, but this is a really great tactic to use to tell where people come from. Asking new customers, how did you find out about us? It sounds obvious again, but really, when was the last time a business asked you how you found out about them? Very rarely does that happen, but that could be such important information for a business to know, so that they can see what channels they're working on that are most impactful. And this can be and sometimes you have to prod a little bit further to get to the nugget of insight. So if somebody says, "Oh, I found out through friends and family," you could ask them further. Well, did you see any ads about us? Did you hear about us on Facebook as well? Because all of those different touch points would factor into the transaction. You want to make sure that you're giving appropriate credit to each channel where credit is due. So I'd like to go back to our friend, Mr. Plow. Now, Mr. Plow, as we saw at the beginning, had a miserable 2014. He had 7 transactions, not exactly a blockbuster year for Mr. Plow in Mississauga. And the reason was he really hadn't planned his marketing program as effectively as he could. So Mr. Plow actually, I had a chat with Mr. Plow a few months ago, and I shared this webinar with him, and he's now learned some great tactics that he has used to stack this year's marketing campaigns for his snowplow service. So this year what he's doing is he's running newspaper ads in local papers. He's got a site with a WordPress blog that he's still working on. He's running direct mail and flyer campaigns. He's running Google AdWords campaigns. He's got display banner ads. He runs radio ads, and he's got a Facebook page as well. Now, all of these promotions work together. They're synergistic in that all of the awareness campaigns through traditional mediums are building that trust, so that when they conduct a search on Google and they see his Google search ad through AdWords, they're much more likely to click that ad because there's already that established awareness and trust for his business and his brand. So what this means is that he's now got 89 sales a month, and everything is just working out really well for Mr. Plow, and his website has grown in traffic as well too. It's not just his mom anymore that's reading his blog. He's actually got some legitimate customers under his belt. So a really great story, and one that I hope that many of you take to heart today, and you know, don't be just, you know, brainwashed by all of the trends in digital marketing. I don't want to take anything away from digital marketing. It's a fantastic medium, and we use a lot of digital marketing tactics ourselves, but really don't steer away from what has been proven to work in the long term. Supplement your campaigns with traditional and digital together, and that really is the recipe for success. So I'm going to end with a quick summary of points to touch on just some of the themes that we were discussing today. So first, for most businesses, blending digital and traditional marketing tactics together will lead to the best results. And most top-of-the-funnel initiatives fall in traditional marketing category. Early in a brand's life cycle, the top-of-the-funnel initiatives are the most important in order to build trust and awareness. Later on in the brand's life cycle, a marketer can shift some focus to bottom of the funnel, and that's really where digital has the best opportunity for success. Flyers are a versatile and cost-effective form of traditional marketing. Prospects need to be exposed to a number of messages before they can decide to purchase. And repeated exposure to the brand through different channels is the best way to build trust. And finally, with a little bit of creativity, traditional marketing tactics can be measured in almost the same way as digital. So thank you very much, everybody. I'd like to pass it on to Derek to wrap things up.
Thank you very much, Angus. Fantastic presentation, very, very insightful. We're going to open it up for questions in a minute here, but we have a special thank you for attending this webinar. We have a 10% off code to be used on Simplify.com. You see it on the screen here now. Webinar 10 is the code. This is good till the end of the year, and a great way to try Simplify and see how we can help with your marketing. So again, thanks to Angus. Let's open it up for questions. You know, one thing I did forget to mention, on top of the 10% discount, we have a 20% site-wide sale right now. So this 10% is in addition to the 20% off that we're already offering on the website. So with that, let's open it up for questions. If anybody has a question, now would be the time to unmute and ask away.
And the question can be anything about what we've just been discussing in this presentation, or it could be about Simplify, or anything under the sun that you want to discuss. So we'll give people a couple minutes if they want to get organized and come up with a question.
Hi, Angus. My name is Zena. I just wanted to say thank you for that presentation. It was very informative. So I'm a makeup artist, and I own my own makeup business. Currently, I'm working from home. Most of my marketing is word of mouth, but I'm really looking to expand, especially with client acquisition. I want to grow my client base. So I just wanted to know from you, what marketing channels do you think I should be focusing on?
For a makeup business, let's see. So I'm going to skip back to that chart that I showed earlier here, where we showed some of the examples of different channels that we could use. So for a makeup business, do you have like a physical location, or do you travel around and provide makeup services for people?
Yes, currently it's out of my home, but I am open to expanding by going to clients' homes as well.
Okay. So you're probably looking at something that can hit like a local audience within your area, because you can't travel too far. So I think local would be a good way to do it. I'd say probably, and it's hard for me to answer without knowing what you've done in the past that has worked, and we'd probably need to go through a lot more detail for me to make a full recommendation. But I think if you're to look at all the stages in the funnel, probably I think if you can find a specific area where your customers are likely to live, and you could run a direct mail campaign for those customers to create awareness. You might want to target a display ad campaign to people that are interested in makeup services. So maybe there are some, I'm assuming maybe like weddings might be a good market for you. So maybe there are wedding websites that you could target with display ads. You could look to target proms in some way. So you could maybe try and reach the student population through maybe magazines or print publications that students are likely to be reading. So that might cover the awareness portion. Interest, I'd say social media would be big for this, because I think that there's the visuals that show off the work that you're doing would really translate well to social media. So maybe getting involved in Pinterest, on YouTube, showing some examples of the work that you're doing, some videos, maybe running a blog. I think there's some really great digital mechanisms for generating interest. For desire, you could, I think, a direct mail might be a great way to run desire as well too, with some testimonials and case studies from existing clients. Action, you could, a daily deal would actually, I think, be a great way to do it. And I think daily deals are really great for a service that has high fixed costs but low variable costs, and I would imagine that is probably the nature of your business, because it's a service-based business. So you can afford to discount that a little bit in the interest of generating repeat business, which I would imagine is probably a big part of your marketing as well. On the loyalty, it's hard to say. I think just having superb customer service would be great. But that, I think, I might need to understand a little bit more about your business and clientele before I can make a recommendation. But those would be some ideas that I think might work out really well for you.
Great, thank you so much. Those are very helpful. We'll definitely look into targeting. I'd like the recommendation for brides and prom. That's definitely in our business.
Cool.
So thank you so much.
Great. No problem. Great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, well, if there are no other questions, I'll just skip down to my email address again. Whoa, jumped the gun a bit there. Great, yeah, so if you'd like to get in touch about anything, if you have follow-up questions that you'd wished you asked but didn't have time, you can contact me at angusrobinson@metroland.com. And then if you have any questions about Simplifly, you can contact us at support@simplifly.com. Yeah, I think unless there's any other questions, we will call it a day. So give people maybe another 10 seconds to jump in.
There's any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thanks again to Angus and Kasra. I hope you found it very insightful. Watch your email. We'll be doing more of these, and we will let you know as soon as the next one is announced. Again, thank you very much for your time today. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Bye-bye.